My name is Hannah, and this is my year of less stuff. Hey y'all, I am about to build myself a custom palette. I'm going to build it into this Tarte palette, which as you can see is busted. I can't bring myself to get rid of it, even though I broke the mirror and then I covered it with duct tape. I just love how sturdy it is, and I love the square shape. And my favorite custom palettes that I make are almost always the ones that I build into this palette. So it's hanging on, even though it's been kind of roughed around a little bit. And I'm not going to talk very much. I don't even really know what kind of palette I want to build. I think that I might angle towards building myself like the perfect neutral palette for me right now, because I've been doing a lot of intense, smudgy, neutral looks, like bronze leaning, sometimes a little bit warm leaning. But I might put some color in here. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing and film it. I was actually about to sit down and do it without filming it, and then I was like, I might as well just turn the camera on so that you guys can share the experience with me. So it's going to be relaxing. I'll put on some dreamy music. I might pipe up here and there and comment on what I'm doing, but for the most part, it's just going to be a visual video, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So these are all Cleona Shadows, obviously, and I think I'm gonna pick one more to go in that spot, just so I can keep it kind of symmetrical and square. I know that this isn't neutral, but I've actually really been enjoying using this cream to powder, which is called Python, to deepen up my outer corner lately. I've been enjoying the way that it mixes with other colors. But I still want the blackest black to be in here. These are my Cleona Shadows, and they aren't very neutral. Most of them aren't really neutral. They're pretty colorful, but I'm trying to pick like the most neutral ones to complement this palette. I'll zoom you in a little. I really like these two duochromes. They're Kiln and Forge. Even though they've got color in them, red and green, they're so grungy that they really work with neutral looks. They don't push neutral looks in the direction of color, which I find that the others do tend to do. So even Grisaille and Abrasion, which, you know, they've got those grungier undertones, they tend to make a look blue. Both of them do. Both of them tend to make a look blue. So I'm not going to include them. But these, they keep it grungy. Let's look at this. This is, oh, no. Let's look at this. So this is the palette that I built recently when I was organizing my singles. I just, on a whim, I picked out colors that were interesting me at that time, and I have used it a little bit over the past week, but I wonder if there are any of these that I want to pull for this new palette that I'm building, because I feel like going forward I'm really just going to be leaning on these kind of like grungy, slightly iridescent-y neutrals. There's definitely color here though. I'm surprised at myself. I'm leaning more into color than I expected to be. This is one that I've really been enjoying. Sydney Grace Defiance. Feel like disturbing this palette right now or the other depth shadows. I think I'm just gonna leave them all where they are for now. This is JD Glow Fairy Acid. It doesn't have the same intensity of the other JD Glow Galaxy shadows, like this one, which is Unexpected. You can see that Fairy Acid just doesn't have that same shine, but there's something about it. It always calls to me. I do end up using it a lot when I put it in palettes of singles. It's grungy in its own way, and the dullness is kind of part of that. But I bet I would really enjoy using. This is Opal. It's another JD Glow shadow. It's really shiny. It's almost like a highlighter. And I've been thinking lately about my Depotted Juvia's Place colors. This is probably not, oh man, look at that. It's probably not one that I want in this palette. Although, I'm gonna play with it. This is definitely leaning away from neutral, but that's okay. I'm always drawn to these smudgy kind of blackened greens or blackened dark turquoises, but then I find that they can sometimes be difficult to work with. I think this is from the original Jaclyn Hill palette, and it doesn't tend to be as hard to work with as these ones that are sort of like more duochrome shifty but with a black base. They can sometimes, it's not as though they get patchy, it's just the way that I use them, really scrubbing them into my eyelids, they don't always end up shaping my eye in the way that I want them to. I could pull Urban Decay Lounge, an oldie but a goodie. Pulling a lot more blues and greens than I thought I would be. That might actually be all that will fit. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll see where we're at. they're the Natasha Denona shadows. They're just, you know, a mix of a couple of singles that I had and then shadows from the gold palette and also from the lila palette. And they make a nice little neutral palette with a pop of blue all by themselves. It's not really, though, to me about the way that they all look together. It's more about the individual inspiration of individual shadows. So I look at this and I see a number of different eye looks that I would like to do. And so having this on my vanity and opening it and looking at it every day will inspire me to, you know, do my eye makeup, have some time to myself, make a look, and that's really what I'm after. Let's swatch these Cleona shadows too. They're so amazing, and that's after swatching. That's after I already applied the shadows to my arms, and that's what's left on my fingers. I feel like that's a great little selection of grungy, neutral, extraordinary eyeshadows. Really adding some depth and color there. This is the Depotted Juvia's Place palette shadow. That's, again, Fairy Acid. That's Urban Decay Lounge. And then this is, I think, from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Yeah, that's from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. It's that deep grungy green that she had in there. It's interesting to see how much richer these swatches are. These are primarily indie shadows than the Natasha Denona swatches, although I know from experience that these Natasha Denona shades perform really well for me, especially for buffing out and softening the edges of eye looks and adding that sparkle. But these are just so much more intense in the swatches. That last one right there is really pretty. That's ColourPop Mr. Sandman. The second to last one here is another shadow from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, the original one. And then these are both indie. I'm gonna take them all out. Yeah, Sydney Grace Defiance, and then I think that's Golden Olive right there. That might be, yeah, that's a Colored Rain shadow, that lighter grubby green. I believe that's ColourPop Martian right there. And this is a Depotted Urban Decay single shadow that I can't remember the name of. I think it might have been Midnight Cowgirl. But it's got a lot of silver glitter in it, and it's just sort of like a very, very pale, washy mauve. Again, this is that one from JD Glow. It's called Opal. It's got like an amazing shine. And then that, my Blackest Black, is from the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette. This is exciting. This is much more dynamic and colorful than I was expecting. I'm gonna try to give you close-ups of the swatches. It's definitely sort of like a grubby, textured summer vibes palette in a way. I think that all of those blues really add to that effect. And there's much more color contrast and much more of a sense of vibrancy and pop than I was expecting when I set out to do this. So that's always fun to see what the subconscious draws out of itself, like what it is that I sort of am really gravitating towards, even though I didn't think about it. I didn't really envision this beforehand. It's just what came together. At the very least, it's going to be inspiring, and that's really what I was after. I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but I'm basically trying to inspire myself to do my eye makeup more days, because many days lately I've just been putting on a little bit of mascara or even nothing at all. And I know that if I can get more into my makeup and just do more looks, I'll feel better, because it's always something that lifts my spirits. So I think I've really succeeded at that. I am already feeling excited to get to work with this palette and make looks with it. And I hope that this was also inspiring to you too. I hope it inspired you to play with your eyeshadows. Even if you don't have singles, if something about this color combination gets you going. You can kind of pick and choose from whatever palettes you do have and do your best to put looks together that are similar to the ones that I will be putting together with this. In essence, duping the vibes on your eyes, even if you can't dupe the vibes in palette form. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what your favorite moments here are, your favorite shadows. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself right now so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.